It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. In the news, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department investigating a fatal shooting which occurred around 3 a.m. Saturday morning on Grantham Road. One male was transported to Wayne Memorial Hospital where he was later pronounced deceased. Person of interest has been arrested on an active warrant for an unrelated charge. Sheriff Chuck Mosley says that this is an ongoing investigation, and they're asking if anyone has information about the shooting or anyone with cameras on Grantham Road to simply contact the Wayne County Sheriff's Department at 912-427-5970, or if you want to remain anonymous, you can call 912-427-5992. Once again, this fatal shooting occurred around 3 a.m. Saturday morning on Grantham Road in Wayne County. Again, if you have any information or cameras on Grantham Road, again, call the Sheriff's Department at 912-427-5970. We continue with our interviews from last Thursday's Eggs and Issues Breakfast as the Chamber of Commerce hosted the annual event at Coastal Pines Technical College. Our local representatives on hand to preview the legislative session, which gets underway this week in Atlanta. On Friday, we heard from State Representative Stephen Meeks. Today, we hear from State Senator Blake Tillery, who helps oversee the budget process. Here's our conversation with State Senator Blake Tillery.
State Senator Blake Tillery, Eggs and Issues. You're the man in charge of the budget. That's what everybody wants to know about the money, where the surplus is, where we're going to spend money. So your thoughts on the upcoming budget?
I think the biggest thing is to remind our colleagues and the public alike that it's not the state's money to begin with, it's the people's money. They sent it to Atlanta. If we have too much, we should send it back. I think you'll see a very strong effort to do that.
And you mentioned the Department of Corrections is a big issue. Talk about that.
It is. It's something we're studying. I think you'll see the governor put a lot of money there. He realizes that we may have put the biggest thing we've got to make sure we do is make sure that our prisons, that we know our prisons are for rehabilitation and for corrections, and for accountability. So we have a duty to make sure that our employees, our inmates, and the public at large are safe.
What about education? Education always wants money. Thoughts on that?
You said that, not me.
Well, I'll say it. They always want money.
Well, what we're seeing statewide is that our student population count is leveling off, and we fund education based on the number of students in schools. So if the number of students is not increasing, the funding formula does not increase.
You talk about the vouchers. They talked about these low-performing schools. They're giving kids an opportunity to opt out. They said that could be very expensive. So explain that process.
Right. Our average spend on a student is around $12,000 to $15,000. Here in Wayne County, it's right at $15,000 per student. So the state said, hey, we're going to look for ways to do it potentially less expensively and give parents options, give parents choices. So that's why you saw the Georgia Promise Scholarship pass this year. If your student is in a school or in a line of schools that could be less than in the bottom 25% of schools in the state, there's a lot of debate about that list, then your child is eligible for a $6,500 scholarship to go to whatever school they want, whether that be another public school, whether that be another a private school, whether that be you taking that money and deciding to home educate them. The state wants to make sure that parents have those options.
The state just went through the hurricane. They talked about the recovery still taking place. I'm just curious, you work with budgets. FEMA's supposed to reimburse a lot of people. I'm sure you're in conversations with them or contact with them. How's that process work? Do they actually reimburse everybody that needs to be reimbursed?
There's no way that the families are going to be made whole in this process. The devastation is sheer. My heart goes out to them. I'm still driving around my truck with a tree limb across the hood myself. And luckily I didn't lose my 401k or anything like that. My heart goes out to communities to families that are facing this, individuals. The sheer amount of debris is staggering. If we take just the amount of debris on roadways, local roadways, state roadways, and we were to go to Dooley Field, Sanford Stadium, and pack that up corner to corner, the chipped wood would be 4,000 miles tall. The amount of debris, and that's just state roadways, so the amount of debris is unfathomable.
I'm sure we'll keep in touch with you. If anybody wants to get in touch with you during the General Assembly, how do they go about doing that?
Well, they can always listen to Butch and Bob, Tuesdays with Tillery. Isn't that the first way?
That's the first way.
The first way. And, of course, if you want to email me at the State Capitol, it's not hard to find that out. Or you can just call my cell phone. It's 912-245-9915.
Okay, Blake, always good to see you. Stay safe in Atlanta.
Thank you. You too.
Once again, those comments of State Senator Blake Tillery. Once again, the legislative session underway this week in Atlanta. On Tuesday's newscast, we'll hear from State Representative Buddy DeLoach. Chamber Eggs and Issues held this past Thursday at Coastal Pines Technical College. They have a post-legislative luncheon in April. Coming up in February will be their annual State of Education event. That event date has been set. The date, Thursday, February 13th at Coastal Pines Technical College. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Wayne County Board of Education meets for the first time in the year 2025 on Tuesday afternoon at 6 p.m. for a work session. On the agenda is approval of the board chair and vice chair for the year 2025. Also on the agenda is capital outlay projects. We should get an update on where the board stands on their Ag Center and ROTC facility and a new weight room, which the board members have expressed interest in building. The last meeting they discussed the decisions have to be made on whether to bid the projects all together or separately. That decision is yet to be made. Location of the Ag Center also up in the air, which side of the road the Ag Center will be built on. One time is to be built on the same side of the road as the track, between the track and the church on Henson Mosley Road, but then there was discussion that it would be better on the other side of the road where the tennis courts and cross-country course is located, and that final decision also has to be made. Other items on the agenda Tuesday include the Juneteenth holiday, House Bill 581, new single statewide homestead exemption, and Senate Bill 233, Georgia Promise Scholarship Act. Several board policies on the agenda, along with a financial report and an executive session to discuss personnel. All that's set for this Tuesday afternoon at the school board's work session. The time, again, 6 p.m. Location, Tech Center, located at 1365 West Orange Street. Reminder, the Gleason Copeland Upper County Landing is temporarily closed this week to the public on account of military training exercises taking place. County says temporary closing is for the public safety. Once again, it's being used this week for military training and exercises, so just a reminder, it's closed to the public all this week. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes and news, community-wide blood drive set for a week from this Tuesday, January 21st at Wayne Memorial Hospital. Blood Connection, a supplemental blood provider for Wayne Memorial Hospital, is holding the blood drive in the hospital parking lot on Tuesday, January 21st from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. All donors will receive a $40 gift card from Blood Connection. Bloodmobile will be located on the right side of the main parking lot near the cafeteria. To make an appointment to donate blood, they ask that you log on to their website, bloodconnection.org. Type in Jesup or the sponsor code 7980. Appointments are encouraged, but walk-ins will be welcome next Tuesday, again Tuesday, January 21, from 11 to 6 p.m. A community-wide blood drive by Blood Connection at Wayne Memorial Hospital. Less than a week away from the presidential inauguration in Washington, D.C., Wayne County Republican Party is inviting everyone to a watch party at the Strand Theater from 11:30 to 1:30 that day on January the 20th. Refreshments may be purchased from the Strand Theater during the event. Once again, this is hosted by the local Republican Party in Wayne County, but everyone is invited to attend. Annual Martin Luther King Parade in Jesup will be held this Saturday, January 18th, beginning at 1 p.m. Grand Marshals will be Dr. Brian Simon and Tierran Smith. The parade lineup will begin at 12 noon with the parade at 1. On Sunday, January 18th, the service at 5 p.m. at the Bennett Missionary Baptist Church with guest speaker, State Representative Al Williams. That's going to do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.